What's up everyone, 124san's here with another draft of Lorwyn Eclipse. Without further ado, let's start our pack 1 pick 1. We start with a pretty sweet rare, Gloom Reaper. When it enters, a creature you control gets plus X power, and a creature opponent control gets minus X toughness, where X is the number of elves you control plus the number of elves in the graveyard. So ideally this card would be in an elf deck, but if you have enough changelings, they also count. And without any other elves, this is a +1 and -1, which is not that great, but serviceable. And if we get this card like here, pack 1 pick 1, we can just certainly try to push ourselves into elves, which is also just the best archetype for now. So yeah, I'll take this, passing Super Anti, Deep Channel Duelist, Wise Read Removal, those kind of stuff. Pack 1 pick 2. This is a vivid black card, Shimmer Creep, drains X equals to the number of permanents you control. If you want to force elf, then it's basically just Lisa Alana Informant and Scarblade Scout, which is certainly an option, or we can pick the strongest card here, Rhyme King Recluse, 3-2, bounce something, and it's also an elemental type, which will be a blue-red for elemental. So yeah, it's a tough decision between this and a Scarblade Scout. I think these two are actually equal, but I'll go with my guts, because I like 3-3 to bounce a card. Pick 1, pick 3. Well, we actually get a good both ways. If we care about elf, there's a 4-4 for elf. That's a pretty good card. If we want to go elemental, there's a Tineful Ramskeeper and Flame Braider. Flame Braider is absolutely nuts in elemental deck. A 2-2/2 that's also a mana dork. And just because I love red blue more than black, so I'm gonna pick Flame Braider here. And then we got ourselves Lofty Dreams, +2/+2 flying and draw a card when it enters, and also Explosive Prodigy that's vivid and deals X damage to target creature opponent controls, where X is the color, and also Elemental, which we do care in blue-red, so I like this card. Also like Shadow Sword for Elemental that's also color fixes, also like Blossom Bind as a removal. So yeah, a lot of great options here. Not that much for elves. Pack 1 pick 5. Well, don't like Lasting Terrifier. Kuraf Mystic is an elemental. Or Blight Ross, that's a very good card. Or Feed the Flames, that's in red. Ah, screw it. I'm gonna ditch elf and all in elemental here. Pack 1 pick 6. Spell Snare is not playable in best of 1. This is playable in best of 3. Play this when you go second. And there's no elf card outside of the Third Dodge Core, which every deck can play. This is a Merfolk. Don't like Merfolk when we care about elves, elementals, I mean, not elves. So I actually just gonna take this here. Third Dodge Core. Pack 1 pick 7. We got ourselves a Cinder Strike versus Soulblight Seeker. Both are pretty good. If we have more in red, then Soulblight Seeker gets like a much more value. Because this is actually ramp for 1 if you can pay 3 red for the activated ability. And also 1-mana 2/1 in an elemental deck, but I'll take a Cinder Strike here for being a removal. Pack 1 pick 8. Run Away Together is not playable. This is a Fairy Wizard that we just don't care, so let's just take a Flaring Cinder. Pack 1 pick 9, we got another Flaring Cinder versus a Wild Unraveling. There's a counter spell. We care about instant speed counter. We do have a Feed the Flames. That's the only card that we can keep up, but I'll just take another elemental. It can be this, or it can be a Status Side Dagger, but this is elemental already. This makes it elemental, but it's not a changeling by itself. Pack 1 pick 10. Architect's Defense is fine. Enraged Flamecaster is another elemental S3. I would not want like 2 of this, so maybe we get one of this later. I'll just take another elemental. And yeah, this draft is like already on rails. The moment we fix ourselves into elementals, so yeah. Doesn't seem that exciting, but we do get Lofty Dreams, which is playable in this deck. It is a mana value for Waiter for cards like Flaring Cinder and Enraged Flamecaster. Had to pick one. The rare Mutable Explorer is a pretty strong card, but only if we're doing else, but which we are not, sadly. Wandering Farewell is a Miracle card, so not for this deck, and there's only one more blue card, but the other card's good. It's a Cinder Strike. That's all we'll take. Yeah, for elves, if we're in elves, we just take this Mutable Explorer, such a good card. Back to pick 2. That's a wrong Eclipse card that we don't care. But we do got a 4-mana 4/3 that makes a treasure, which is a pretty strong card that's also elemental, so we just pick this. Pick to pick 3. Release the Anything. That is a elf card, elemental card. So it can work in this deck, but it makes a temporary token of something. You can flash it back easily in this deck though. And this is a Goblin Warrior that we don't care. But still, I'm not a fan of this card. I prefer a stronger card up front, like Stratosaur. They can color fix for red when we need it, and also elemental, also a big spell. Back to pick 4. Fairy Wizard, no thank you. Goblin, no thank you. Yeah, we just seek elemental, pick elemental. Such an easy draft especially for beginners, but can be a little bit boring for me. Tweeze over another Architect's Defense or a Fairy that's not on type. And then back to pick 6, we got ourselves some pretty good options like Unexpected Assistance and Twin Flame Travelers. Just gonna take Twin Flame Travelers because we have so many things that can trigger this. And it's a signpost for us. I mean, Tweeze versus Corrupt Zealots, both are very strong card. We have two single strikes, 1 Tweeze, 1 Fatal Fangs. Now I'll take another Tweeze and we should be fine on removals. And then we got another choice between Stratosaur and Corrupt Zealots. I just take Corrupt Zealots because this is a 6, this is a 5. Also, Flaming Cinders. If I get this late, I can just get rid of the Dark Core. And we can actually color fix for some bombs in other colors, provided the bombs is worth splashing. We have a Dark Core and a Stratosaur and a Corrupt Zealots and 2 flanking Heal Weaver. These are color fixes for anything we try to splash in this deck. We do want more 2-drops though. Back to pick 9, just gonna pick the Architect's Defenses. 2 mana +1/+2 combat trick. Not gonna play the second one, but not gonna play the other cards either. And yep, we do get Kindle the Inner Flame back. Got a Bramblebat Brute. That's not a creature type we care about, and we don't do a lot of blights, but we actually can blight on it with cards like Cinder Strike, so there's that. Get rid of that, and then pack 3 pick 1, Soul Immolation. Blight X cannot be greater than the greatest toughness. And then it's a single-sided board wipe after casting this. And this is a cost, so your opponents can respond to this by removing a creature, like Chandra's Ignition. Other than that, there's Temporal Cleansing, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, let's just take Soul Immolation and give it a shot. This card works better if you can have a bigger toughness creature like Stratosaur. And you don't have to blight on this, you can just blight on a small creature and still get the benefits. So let's try it out. Pack 3, pick 2, we got a Goblin 2-drop. This deck probably just don't care. But it's a 2-drop or a Boulder Bash, but I don't think this deck cares about Boulder Bash. Because we already have some pretty good removals otherwise. So among all of these, I would rather pick Stratosaur, I think. 3/3 Bossombind as a cheap removal, or Mischievous Sneakling. I think we're fine on removals. So I will want some actual creatures, but there are also elementals, for sure. So Mischievous Sneakling over any removals. Maybe we even get one of the removal back. Who knows? We don't have any Eclipsed elementals though. And do we actually care about 2-drops being elemental? It doesn't do anything with the rest of our deck. But at least it's a 2-drop. And it's castable off Flame Blader, so that's a reason to have more elemental spells. Pacific 4, Risen Reef. Wow, this is an elemental. Should we just splash this for being elemental? I certainly think so. Screw it, let's just pick this and splash green just because it's an elemental. Screw it. We can also splash for some Vivid cards, too. And the other cards, I just don't care. And pick 5, Cinder Strike versus Sober Seeker again, but I will just take Seeker this time. And this is the wrong Eclipse card. Back to pick 6. Kuraf Zealot is a color fix versus either we don't care about type or it's just being bad. I mean, Stream Lift Drum is also color fix, but this is more for Merfolk, and yep, gonna pick the color fix. That is also elemental. And this is Eclipsed, finally get our own Eclipsed. Over a Feather 2-drop, that's also elemental. We have to pick an Eclipse here. The Brute. But yeah, Risen Reef deck. Everything works with the Risen Reef in this deck. Perfect, and we got another Explosive Prodigy that we just take here. And yeah, another reason to play Mischievous Sneakling is enables more damage for Explosive Prodigy. So that's a reason to do it. Not gonna play anything here. Okay, Luminolosk is elemental. Or just take this, but I doubt we are playing it. Color Stratosphere, Color Lofty Dreams. We're definitely more red than blue. And yeah, I would love to play one more this, because that removals are fine. Do we play Kindle the Inner Flame? I think we do. We can also just twist discard this. I mean, need to cut some. Nope, not playing any of those. I mean, Foraging Wickermaw is the color fixing. It does survive 1, and also becomes a color, so it helps Explosive Prodigy. So it might be a reason to play that. I just don't like that card though. But anyways, we are splashing for Risen Reef. 1 forest. I'm gonna cut the core. We have like 3 ways to get it. We're a little bit low on lower drops, but we actually care. Like this deck isn't aggro, so we don't even care about 2 drops anyways. Explosive, we do want some way to enable Explosive Prodigy. I think for that reason we can cut Flame Chain Molder and actually play the 2-mana 1/3. Because this color fixes, this provides another color for Vivid. That's a pretty good reason to play it. Still need to cut some cards though. I think we're gonna cut 1 land. It's gonna be an island because we have more ways to get red. Maybe we cut a Flaring Cinder. A little bit filler compared to other cards. I mean, Enraged Caster is also filler. But I think that's more filler than Flaring Cinder. Still need to cut 1 more. Don't want to cut a 3 here. Maybe you have to cut like Blinking Deal Weaver. I think we probably do. The card's good, but we don't have to play like all of them. And now I think we had the perfect curve. Perfect 16 lander. We have 3 cards that gets any basic lands. We have early plays, and we have a Risen Reef, which is a very big value piece. Just draw a card every time Elemental enters. This is gonna be such a rare occurrence for this format too, because this is a special guest. We don't play with special guest cards every day. So yeah, this will be the deck. And yeah, this is like nuts with playing Travelers. Play Risen Reef into a Twin Travelers and then trigger this twice. Wow, that's just perfect. Alright, that will be the deck. Heading into the gameplay. Our opponent goes first. We can get our lands in a pinch. In that case, I'll keep this. We do also have a soul immolation. So do we get a red or green? It'll depend on what we draw. If we draw a red in the next 2 draws, I'll just get a green, and we do. Wild-Barn Preacher. Don't like that card. I think I'm just gonna tweeze that. Unless they play something more threatening. That's our Reason Reef mana. I'm just gonna twist it right now. Or we can leave it for later. They have mana up anyways. But we did give them a chance to convoke, so maybe that's not a good idea. But Explosive Prodigy. We don't have anything that works with this anyways, so that's fine. Flame King Steel Weaver into a Corrupt Zealot. Perfect curve. And they just scoop because they are missing a blue. Okay. Play the non-game, but I'll take a free win. 1-0 heading into game 2. Alright, game 2 going first. Mono red, but this gets color fixes stuff, so let's keep. I guess, but Explosive Prodigy is not doing good, so that's also might also be a good reason to not keep this. Maybe they play a 1 toughness thing, I can just blow it up. That's not a 1 toughness thing. Alright, through our Flame Braider. I prefer having this earlier, but if this survives, we can just cast a Corrupt Zealot from our hand. So hope that's the case, and I am 100% not trading. And yep, we can resolve Zealot, and we can even Kindle it. This is the power of a Manadork. And we have a Twist, nice. So we have Twist into a Kindle the Inner Flame. That's pretty nuts. Assuming this card survives, that is. Okay, no way. Is this actually surviving? Alright, they tap 2 blue, that means they can't have a counterspell, which is good. Let's go twist this. And this can play one itself to get some value. Maybe they'll do it right now. Yep. Discard to draw. Feed the flames. Don't need to feed anything. We can just make a copy of this. And get another value for Twin Flame Travelers. Oh, damn. They are so done. If I still have this 6-5 alive, I can just Twin Flame Travelers into a Kindle the Inner Flame to get 2 cards next turn. I don't need to behold 3, but yeah, I already have 3 among my hand and my board. If they don't touch my stuff, that is. And I also have like double Explosive Prodigy. Don't care about Wayfinder. Or I Kindle the Inner Flame, the Twin Flame Travelers, and this pings for 3 times. No matter how you put it, this is like perfect. Behold 3 elementals. Get 2 cards. And I'll try to shoot them. This might backfire if they just remove the Twin Flame Travelers, but... yeah, that's so done. Holy cow, this is such a perfect scenario. Yeah, Twin Flame Travelers. Ooh, boy. Yep, we got him good. 2-0 heading to game 3. Alright, here we are game 3. Only have 2 lands, but if Flame Braider survives, he can color fix for other elementals. Only one. Like there's only one spell I can cast. And there's also Eclipsed Flame King that can be cast with just red mana, and he also gets a blue from top 4. So yeah, this is a pretty good hand. And next turn I can even just Flame King, Guild Weaver, and yeah, they didn't play anything. So yep, this turn will just be Flame King, Guild Weaver, and pass, and then we can do Eclipse Flame King to something else. Or Ramton Recruits, bounce that. So yeah, I'll be at 6 mana, so I can... nope, I don't want to actually bounce that. So instead I'm gonna Flame King first. Explosive Prodigy, just clear stat. Craft Zealot. These are actually pretty close, to be honest. But I think I can save my Cinder Strike for later. I want to press the damage right now. And crack this for mana. So I can attack with the 2/2. But if my Flame Braider gets removed, I can't cast Ram King Recluse, so that's the risk I'm taking. I think it's still worth it though. Like if they just play a 4-drop and they are so down here because I can just bounce it. Yep, I can just bounce that. I do have to tap my 2 power though. And oh, this card does strings, but oh, it did, yeah. They definitely have elf. But then I can just Cinder Strike that. If they replay this, of course. Yep, they replay it. They go to wow. Draw a Risen Rift that I can actually cast them. And if I just remove that, I am doing 11 damage, which is not enough, so I'll just Risen Rift right now. Lights 1, target creature. Yep. I'll be like 1 damage off if I attack with that. It's hopefully they don't have like a war wipe or a mass life gain or something. Wow, they do have a 4 wipe. But I do have Kindle the Inner Flame. Which I'm pretty sure is lethal. And yeah. I'm just making sure if they have anything in combat, but they don't have green mana. There's no way they can interrupt me. And yeah, that card could stabilize them. So I think I probably should have got the 6/5 instead of the 1/1 that time, because I can still use Cinder Strike to remove that, and I'll have a 6/5 that also draws another card. And 6/5 will be a beefy creature. But they are in black, so there's a chance I can just remove that. It can go either way. But yeah, Darkness Descent. This thing is a 4 mana -2/-4 Bro Wipe. That doesn't seem much, but this is permanent. And yeah, it debuffed the creatures I have, so they don't have enough power to finish opponents off here. Alright. Anyways, we got it. 3-0 heading into game 4. Alright. Game 4, we're starting with no red mana, but Eclipse Flame King can find it. Because of that, I'm keeping. Because if we get to cast our hand, it can be pretty strong. That's not a red, but we can definitely cast Eclipse Flame King next turn. Ooh. That's disgusting. Need to find my red ASAP. Okay, we got it. And that's the only card we can get. Anyways, and next turn we can just Flame King into a Cinder Strike. I think I'm still gonna block. Reluctant. Yeah, I can just do 2 damage there. And Reluctant is also a little bit annoying. So there's also a chance I just remove that instead, because it's gonna get out of range of Explosive Prodigy, but I can still Cinder Strike it. I think I'll remove Reluctant Dangar first because it can grow. And I would not read the damage here. If they attack, that means they probably have some combat tricks, and I don't want to block a 4-3 on that. Worry Farmer. Fine. Soul Immolation, that's I cannot cast. Unless I discard my Zealots, but I also want to cast my Zealots. So in that case, let's just blow that up. And I'll just cast my Zealot, because we are reaching that mana. Anyways, I'm fine trading this. Yeah, Soul Immolation can buy 4, and I can target Exclusive Prodigy for that. It asks for the greatest toughness among creatures you control, but you don't have to blight on that creature. And yeah, I am leaving everything on blocks. Just cast a Zealot. And gets a red. Red is fine. And they have priority. So I'm assuming... Okay, Crypt Swap. Sure. Removal like Crypt Swap is usually bad in Limited because you don't want your removal to give your opponents stuff. Eclipse into Eclipsed. Alright. That's fine. I can just Blight 4. I think I just Blight 4 next turn though. Wait for their Clutch-Hand Festival. And for this turn, just gonna play my Ramping Recluse, bounce my own stuff. And yeah, he bounced my own stuff. Let's make sure for some value. And also, Risen Reef. Risen Reef is the value here. I'll take. Even though I've already played so many elementals and I have no elementals in hand. Well, looks like this time I'm not casting Soul Immolation. So let's just Risen Rift for some value. Draw into a Feed the Flames, then I can just Feed the Flames stats before it gets... Before they untap and get anything on that to get out of the range. Alright, they did it. They've cast Collection Festival. And now I can... Yeah, I still have 5 mana after this, so let's do the Guild Weaver first. Make a treasure token. And draw a card. And then... X equals 4. Auto pay. And we blight Shapeshifter. And this wipes the entire board. Alright. Surveil 1, and we got a Cling attack with 6 damage in. Maybe I shouldn't attack with the Risen Rift in case of a flash. But keep out on Recluse. That's fine. If they use a key, yeah, I would prefer they use it on Recluse than Risen Rift, because Risen Rift is scaling me so much about value right now. Can't even imagine. So yep, let's do a Rattlesore. You fly. Gets a land. Blaring. Gets a land. And attack. Oh wait, if I get that land into my hand, I could have discarded it. Oh well. Another key pause, I guess? Oh, protective response, same thing. Yeah, I should definitely keep the land in my hand. Because I could have discarded it. Spiral into Solitude. Okay. Looks like we're having a board stall. In their favor, though. Well. Bridget, 3-2 make a 1-1. The other side is make mana. Please. Do I even care about this? This can keep making 1-1s, but I think that's fine. I'd rather remove a flyer here, to be honest. Well, that's not it. Bridget does makes a 1-1 every once in a while, but same goes for the Clash and Festival. Alright, finally drawing into something big. Kurov Zealot, only 13 cards in the deck. I need to be wary of that. I'm gonna decline that. 10 left. I'm gonna use it to shut down Bridget. And I need to win before I deck out, because that's a major concern of Risen Rift. Yeah, Blind 1 is instant speed though. Alright. Twin Flame Travelers. What? Wait, I'm forced to look at the top. Okay. I'm forced to look at the top, so... Well, Risen Rift should be attacking. And yep, they know of a Risen Rift now. Smart. Smart for them. Spiral. Okay, I can tweeze that. I have like so much mana that I can do whatever I want. Think I should try to win in this turn. So let's tweeze this. The only thing they have left is Spiral into Solitude. Not gonna discard. And then we make 2 copies of this thing. Yeah, we are gonna deck out. That's for sure. Oh, Cinder Strike. I can Cinder Strike, Blights 1, target. And I think that's lethal already, so let's just attack. And yep. Ooh. we managed to seize that victory before I decked out. There's... Yeah, Kindle the Inner Flame can definitely win the game here, making like 2 6/5s before the Risen Rift and Twin Flame Travelers get rid of my entire deck. Alright, that's a pretty sweet Risen Rift, even though it almost killed me. So much value from this card when your entire deck is elementals. 4-0 heading to game 5. Game 5. Flaming Cinder can get a blue, Flame King Guildweaver can get a temporary blue or a green for Risen Rift. So I'll keep this. Oh no, not Flaming Cinder. Oh, I was thinking of the Eclipsed Elemental, not this one. 2 mana once, 3. RG doesn't do anything. If they cast something bigger, nope. Changing Wayfinder is whatever. Another red. Huh. I think I'll just discard Cinder here. And then next turn, flanking Guildweaver. After that, Risen Rift into Prodigy can do 3 damage to something. Assume they don't have an instant removal, that is. Cinder Strike. Okay. At least they don't have much power on the board, so I'm not taking much damage here. Also nothing to play after. I'm fine with that. Flanking Guildweaver, make a treasure token. And eats the instantly removal? Yeah, please. Okay. Chomping Changeling. This card doesn't have much target in the main deck. This is not an artifact or enchantment set. But yeah, hopefully they play something that's within the range. Well, that's not it, but that's also not strengthening by itself. I think I'll just Risen Ripping. Expose the Prodigy, get rid of the Crystal Glutton, and hopefully they don't have removal for Risen Rift. Oh wait, I can't even cast it. What I'm talking about. Well, that's awkward. And I play my lands too fast, so I can't even play Risen Rift if I draw into a green or blue. Cinder Strike, but nothing worth using it on. Well, hopefully I draw a green or blue. Yeah, I can't even cast this. Because I don't have either one of those. Ooh. I don't like that card. A Cinder Strike can get rid of it. It can, but it's asking for a lot here. I basically have to get rid of my entire... like 2 cards. Wow. Yep. Have to do this. At least they're only doing 1 damage a turn on board. Whew. I need my another mana for this. Feels Batman. 2-3. But they can actually remove counter from this. Okay, mana launder. Help me. I can draw the Tweeze. But Tweeze is not enough to kill that. And I haven't played a land this turn, so if I get a land... If I get a land, I can play Explosive Prodigy. I just need to not put it on the board. Oh, that's not a land. But that is a Sneakling, so if Risen Rift survives, I can still get rid of... Oh no, they can activate this twice and it'll be out of range. That's that. Okay, that's not even the biggest concern right now. The biggest concern is the Corrupt Zealots that can attack for 1,000,000. Feed the Flames, okay. I just drawing the removal and I can remove their entire board. I can also do it like Kindle the Inner Flame on Risen Reef and Exodus Prodigy, but this is not the turn for it. I have to use my removal. Oh, I can't use this. Well, I guess that's fine. Because this doesn't have a mana. I only have 5 lands on board. So, if they bramble back roots twice, it's completely out of my range. Unless I copy Explosive Prodigy somehow. Yep. It looks like they're just doing it like once, which is fine. No blocks. In that case, I can still Mischievous Sneakling and Wow. This tutors for bomb, if they have it. Let's see what they have. Oh, that's not a bomb, but that is a big creature, which is good for them. Okay, drawing to another land. Oh wait, this can gets a off color, so I can Kindle the Inner Flame, Risen Reef, and then Explosive Prodigy for like an Omega value. I don't know if that actually wins me. This can help me win, but it just looks too good. Let's do it. And then Explosive Prodigy. Shoot stat. Reason Rift gets stuff. Thunder Strike. Oh, I just pass. And then the Kindle the Inner Flame. I am at 3 for Vivid right now. This can become white. This is black, so I can Kindle the Inner Flame, Explosive Prodigy to get rid of the Corrupt Zealot. Everything is going according to the plan. At the end, I actually think this far, but everything's working out. Boulder Dash. Please don't. Please don't play a land and remove my Risen Reef. I dare you. Attacks. If I block here and they actually have a combat trick. Oh no, that is trying to get through for 2 damage, I'm pretty sure. 1 damage, I mean. Oh, they do have a land. Well, that's rough. Risen Riff is no more. Soul Immolation. Fun, but I don't have. If I have a Corrupt Zealot on board, then Soul Immolation will do a lot, but I don't. That makes like things like 10 times tougher. So I can Kindle the Inner Flame on Explosive Prodigy, deal once in the strike, get rid of that. I think that's my only shot, to be honest. Blaze 1. Get rid of that. I think this is attacking. And the next turn I will have 9 mana. 9 mana is not enough to play this for the same turn. But I am gonna try to double block Formidable Speaker. Because I have 7 mana even without this. And if they use like a removal combat trick on this, be my guest. Okay. I'm fine they use Keep Fit the Flanks here because this is the more important card that I don't want to get removed. And now they are completely out of stuff. So if the 6/5 or 1/1 survives, I just win. Hopefully. Just need to hope they don't suddenly draw another Feed the Flames here. Blight's a 1/2 for artifact. Okay. Okay, I can resolve the Soul Invitation now. Thank goodness, even though I'm drawing only lands. 5 lights. If they actually have Feed the Flames and choose not to cast it on their turn, that will be the biggest mistake they've made in this game. Alright, 5 damage for wipe, also hits their face. Or do they actually have like off-color splash from this treasure? Huh. They do have priority. Don't know if they're bluffing or actually have stuff. Alright. Draw into a spell. And they'll be dead next turn if they don't have any answers. Alright, we got him. Oh, okay. Oh, what a comeback. And yeah, double Risen Reef Dream. It could have lived longer if they don't have the removal for Risen Reef right there, but yeah, we still got it. And yeah, Soul Immolation, such a good card. Because the biggest upside of this card compared to Changeless Immolation is that there's no blowouts for this. When this card is put on the stack, your opponent cannot respond to this by removing a creature to try to disable this, because the X is already set with Blight's cost. And there's no target for this spell, so it doesn't get fizzled by removing the target, unlike Changeless Ignition. Ooh. So now we are 5-0 heading to game 6. Game 6, starting with Eclipsed Prodigy, Soul Immolation, Mischievous Sneakling. If this hand only drew a land, then this hand will work. This is very risky. And I think this is not a good idea to keep, but one can hope. Alright, drawing to a land, so Flaring Cinder is a playable card. And okay, drawing to blue, so my entire hand is playable. Blue Squishes. I'm not gonna discard and draw even. Because next turn I can just Mischievous Sneakling and Explosive Prodigy to remove a 3, just like that. No, I'll draw in a land. Yeah, Mischievous Sneakling. There's a black, so I have 3 colors for Vivid to get rid of the 2/3. Uh, 1/4, 1/1, but it trades into a 2/2, so there's no good attacks here. Drawing only lands, not what I want to see now, but I can discard and draw. And draw into a Twin Flame Travelers. I think I'll play this land out and discard any other lands I draw. The Moonlit Lamenter is gonna give them some value. If they have ways to put counters on this, there will be more value even. Like Bio Bogarts on their own stuff. Okay, now Back Arm is a card that I have to play around. If I attack with Flanking Guildweaver, will they block? I mean, if I attack with the entire board, then they probably will, and I still get to... As long as they block with Moonlit Lamenter, I think if they, as long as they block with this, I can get a Soul Immolation going. So, but okay, double blocking even, that's fine. And then I can just do... Alright, get rid of the Nobel Arm and Moonlit Lamenter. They could get more value from these tree folks. Slump. Okay. That get bad Moonlit Lamenter. I can play Corrupt Zealot right now, or I can play a Twin Flames into that. Well, I think I should aim for more upsides. The Slumbering Walker can get back Battle of our Bogart or Pray for Peaceling next turn, and yes, Spiral itself is fine. Hopefully they tap out right now. I mean, tap out with the other spell, not this, okay. Oh, there's like one more reanimate. Get back 2-3. And I play a Corrupt Zealot. I think I'll just play a Mountain now. Got another Zealot, okay. I'll get so much value if there's still alive Twin Flame Travelers. But at least Slumbering Walker value is over when they're out of stuff. Mana value or 3, so this can get back. Now back on. Corrupt Zealot. No, you're not gonna bother discarding. Please, okay. Now we've reached the board stall. No one can get through. I have 6-5, but they have like so many big toughness creatures. -3/-3 into a nameless conversion. Okay. That combo removes a creature. Remove a counter to draw a card. And I can tweet something, but if I tweet something, they just get it back. That's awkward. But they do have to spend a counter to get it back. And at least this doesn't have any value, so let's just tweet that. Stratosaur, that's a good card to have. But how to win this game actually? Flyers? Hope they just don't remove my Stratosaur. Champion of the... And they can... Alright, I don't think I'm gonna bother with this game because this thing, they can just blight on their stuff to get infinite value while removing my stuff. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna lose to that. That's the dream white-black deck, where you have all the good blight payoffs that remove counters on itself, and enablers that can put -1 counters on those. Well, that will be 5-1 heading to Game 7. Game 7, this hand needs at least one more land to function, but the cards are pretty good. For that reason, I'll keep. Wop. card isn't playable on 2, but this is. Flame Raider is. That's a good top deck for now. And they don't have like something like best of 1 spell snare for this, but and Sneakling is fine. If they don't remove this, I can play a Flaring Cylinder, but they're 100% removing that, so that's not gonna happen. We need to draw a land or we are so screwed, and yep, we are so screwed. And they are... And yep, I'll just concede here. Keeping a greedy hand, then he didn't pay out. Which is fine. You win half of the time. I mean, the chance of drawing a land in the next 2 is not that low. I think it's like 40 or 50 or something. I didn't do the math, but yeah, I tend to keep more hands than usual compared to constructed. Opponent goes first. Very slow hand, but we can guarantee our blue by discarding Crocodilus, so I will keep this. And we'll have a 3-drop and a 4-drop for sure. Drawing into a land is not what I want, unless I draw into blue or something. Extrovert Prodigy, not playable on 2. I'll just wait. Maybe they play a... yeah, they play a 3-3, I just basic land cycle for blue. And then I draw green, okay. That's fine. I bounce that. Replay. I think I'll attempt for the trade and then play a Twin Flame. And if they don't remove the Twin Flame, that will be the end of them. Because I can bounce 2 things with Ram King Recluse. One can dream, of course. Adapt, okay. I'm fine if that's the only spell they play this turn cycle. Eclipsed, that's the card that I'm not bouncing. But Adapt Water Shaper is the card that I don't like. But for this turn, I think I'm just gonna Kindle the Rhyme King and then bounce 2 things. Because they need so much mana to redeploy all of these things. I'm not gonna attack with this because it's gonna crash into our Eclipsed Kipkin anyways. And actually, Flanking Guildweaver makes 2 treasure tokens. That's something I forgot. So next turn, I 6 mana from lands and play this and play Exalted Prodigy, shoot. Yeah, they replay a 3. I can just shoot their small things for this turn. Or I can even... if I bounce their stuff, then they go to... if I bounce their stuff, they go to 2, which is not enough. Well, in that case, I'll just shoot their stuff then. Or I can just kindle this right the heck now and shoot that also. No, it's fine. They need so much stuff to come back. And I can use my treasure to deploy a Sneakling too. Unforgiving, that's a little bit unforgiving. Yep. Deploy this. Behold. Bounce that. And that will be enough damage. Alright. Yeah, their stuff is getting bounced here and there. The power of 3 mana C2 bounce something. And the signpost. The signpost turns out to be very good, as long as it doesn't eat a removal right away. So now we are 6-2, fighting the final boss, game 9. Here we are at the final game, game 9. We finally start with the Soul Bright Seeker, which is a 1 mana 2/1 that can also ramp into 4 plus 1 mana only if you can activate this 3 times, which we can't right now. Behold an Elemental. Unless I discard this for a red, but there's no reason to, I'm afraid. There may be actually a reason to do that, because I can cheat out flanking your Weaver 1 turn sooner. It depends on what they play. Like, if they play something that's worth tweezing, I just tweeze that. If they don't, though, I'm just gonna discard this for red. And I can whoop, whoop, whoop. Yep, I rammed into a 4. Cast flanking Guild Weaver attack. And I can also cast Corrupt Zealot after this. I can't tweet that, sadly. I think I'll just attack and then cast the Zealot. Get in. Whoop. Whoop. 3. And then I get 4 mana. And then I play this from hand. Got the island I can play. Iron Shield Elf. I can use a twist on it. Risen Reef though, or I can just be on the value train for this turn. Should I attack? They have 4 mana up. Nah, Risen Rift into Flaring Cinder. Even if I activate this, I don't have mana to do much stuff, so there's no reason to. If I attack, they can double block, and I twist doesn't do much. Twist doesn't remove a 4/4 anyways. Oh wait, I should have activated this, because I can't even... Yep, that's my mistake. I should have activated this first, because I could have do 2 things instead of 1 thing. Oh, my bad, my bad. I thought I was always like +1 mana, but turns out I'm not. Alright, nothing is going on. So if I activate 3 times, I get 7 mana to do this and that. So but there's a chance that there is a chance I lose mana if they use a removal on the 3rd time I do it. Okay, it worked. I hope this works. Yeah, I'm playing to open mana here, but we got there. Ooh, got a land, play a land, and I'll just pass. Hopefully they play more stuff so I can soul immolation that. And yep, they are done. Okay, they just can't take the sheer amount of value I get from this Risen Rift. And yeah, ooh, the Risen Rift is such a good card. Sadly, it's from special guest, so I can't play with this card very often. But yeah, we did manage to play with it in this run, and it works super well for us. And I love red blue, so in this set, red blue is certainly quite powerful, although not as good as else, but still. I like how the cards are just generically good by themselves, but also works with each other. Like Explosive Prodigy, it's just a good card as long as you have enough off-color hybrid cards like the Sneakling, Foraging Wickermaw, or even Risen Reef. And at worst, it's a 2-mana 1/1 DOI, which is not good. But if you can do two, then it's fine. And if you do 3, then this card's perfect. And yeah, Risen Reef, almost the entire deck triggers this, and it's just like an endless value machine, especially with Kingdom of the Inner Flame, that you can just target, copy Risen Reef, and get double the triggers. And you also get double the triggers from Twin Flame Travelers. And it makes every other elemental's triggers additional time. And the cards like Stratosaur and Corpse Zealot is also pretty crucial. They color fixes you, they get you the basic land if you're stuck on having like 2 basic lands in early game. Well, they're also pretty good by casting. Zealot is a 6-mana 6/5 that gives you a card. And Stratosaur is a 5-mana 3/5 flyer that gets another thing flying when it enters. And it's also a pretty good body. And yeah, also Soul Immolation, just a pretty powerful card. It's pretty brutal on a board stall state where you can just blight your 1/1 for like 4 or 5 and wipe your opponent's entire board, and your opponent can't respond to this by casting a removal on a big creature because it doesn't even target. So yep, overall, sweet deck. And yeah, there's also Flame Braider, one of the best 2-drops in this deck. It's a 2-mana 2/2 that taps for 2 mana. Like if your opponents let this card survive, this can just tap itself for 5-drop even, which is absurd. And yeah, that's it for this sweet elemental deck. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you in the next one.